Hello, in this video I'm going to take you through the routine that I like to show people when they are just starting out on new characters, or maybe you're working on an alternate character that you're trying to get some skill points and development on. I'm going to go through and show you how I farm for skill points the fastest way I know. It's a leisurely activity and it's fairly easy to do. So I'm going to start off by saying I'm going to show you a couple of add-ons that I use in this procedure. These are definitely not required because I am going to walk you step by step how to do this, and you can follow along on the video if that's what you want to do. But I am going to show you a couple of add-ons that I highly recommend if you have the ability to implement them. I highly recommend you check these out. I have done deep dive videos on these, and I will post my playlist for my add-ons playlist in the description so that you can locate those videos if you need more detail about the add-ons themselves than what I cover in this video. So basically, the add-ons that I'm going to use in this video fairly heavily are the map pins add-on, as well as the house hotkey and the mini map, the Votan's mini map right here. Those are the main ones that I'm going to use, but the other one that I'm going to use that's very helpful in this is the skill point tracker. It is called What's Missing. This is an incredibly valuable add-on. I've done a video on this. If you need more detail on how this functions, I highly recommend you go watch that video. This is incredible because what you can do is log into every single one of your characters on your entire roster. As you can see, I'm scrolling through. I have 20 different characters. If you look at the very top, I'm going through all of my characters. And once you log in one time while the add-on is active, it basically reviews what you've done with your characters to see if you can get skill points anywhere. They've got several different zones that are loaded on here. You can check the general zone, which tracks your progression up to level 50. That's going to total 64 points, skill points, as you progress through that. If you do the Harborage mission, if you look over off to the right-hand side, you can see every single one of those missions has a skill point tied to it, and that is a total of 11 points. This Folium Discognitum, this is tied to the Mages Guild skill line, and if at the end of the Mages Guild quest skill, you have a choice when you're speaking to Shiagarath to either, I don't remember the character's name, it's either you get to take the book or save the person. If you choose to take the book, you get the 2 skill points. If you choose to save the person, you do not get the skill points. So I may be just absolutely destroying that, but that's essentially where these skill points come from. These are kind of a bit of a problem because if you complete the quest and you choose wrong, you cannot get those skill points back. So that is a little bit of a frustration there, but that's, if you're wanting to know what that is, that's what these 2 points are. Then if you complete the tutorial, you'll get a skill point. And then there are various ranks. Every time you rank up your alliance rank, you get a skill point. And then if you complete Maelstrom Arena and Infinite Archive, you can get skill points. So that covers the general tab for the skill points that you can get. Then there's the zones that track whether or not the storyline will give you skill points. And then in addition to that, they've got another column for Skyshards. And that includes virtually every zone in the game. And again, this tracks all of your characters across all of these tabs. This add-on is incredible. I highly recommend it. I will once again recommend that you go watch that video that I did. But then the dungeons, this is the group dungeons, Fungal Grotto 1, etc. All those, every time you do the quest in there for the first time on a character, you get a skill point. So those are all allocated here. There's a total of 58 that you can do. And then last but not least, there is the public dungeon. And that is what we're going to use today in today's video. These are located in all of the zones that are tied to the base game as well as the chapter zones. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to get to every single one of these dungeons, where to kill the group event boss, and while we're in there, we're also going to grab the Skyshard inside of the public dungeon. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how to travel to these areas if you don't have way shrines near the area. If you're on just a absolutely green as grass character and you're trying to get all this done, but you don't have anybody with you, I'm going to show you how you can achieve that. Then also we are going to be grabbing any sky shards that happen to be along the way from point A to point B. For example, if we land, so let's just talk about Auridon for a second. That is a main city in the game, and so we're going to be porting to Elden Root, and then we are going to ride down this way to the Root Sunder's public dungeon. Well, as you can see, there is a sky shard right here along the roadway. So we're going to stop and get that sky shard right there. I've already gotten it on this character, obviously, but this is something that I'm going to kind of call out that we're doing in addition to what we're going to do inside the public dungeon. So just as an example, I'm only going to do so many of these in one video. I'm going to break this up into, I believe, probably 4 videos. I'm going to do the Aldmeri Dominion in this video, and then I'm going to do Ebonheart Pact, and then I will do Daggerfall in its own, not necessarily in that order, but I'm going to break those up, and then I'll do the DLC zone stuff in their own videos as well. So we're going to get going with this. With the house hotkey, what I'm going to be doing is I'm setting this house in Northern Elsewhere, the Sugar Bowl suite. If you look on my wheel, this little icon right here is just a hotkey to jump outside of this house, and that's going to speed this process up, because every time I get done with killing either the group event boss or grabbing the sky shard, once I've completed each public dungeon, I'm going to port right to this and be able to run downstairs like this, and you'll be able to see that. And then I'm going to get to this way shrine and be able to point to my next zone. So without further ado, we're just going to port to Elden Root, and we're going to get started. This is probably going to be a little bit lengthy of a video, so if you're wanting to just jump around to specific locations, I will have chapters in the video for that, as I always do. But a really fun thing to do, I think, while you're playing the game and doing this kind of a kickback activity, I've created a lot of Elder Scrolls Online music videos with songs and visuals. Don't have to watch the video if you don't want to, but they're fun to listen to while you play the game and just kick back and chill out. This video is meant to help people play the game, build their character, have fun, just relax, have fun, and enjoy the game. And just kind of give you something to develop your characters. You can log on to every single character that you have and do this. And just as a stopping point right here is where the Sky Shard is, right next to the place where you turn in your writs here in Elden Root. So we're just going to keep continuing on south here. There are also Mages Guild books along the way. You can certainly pick those up as well. Kind of sprinkle in a little other activity really quickly that you can work on. Gradual rather than grinding. That's always my motto, is trying to implement several different activities into one, so that you don't end up grinding one thing. You're kind of checking a lot of boxes all at once. So here is the Root Sunder Ruins public dungeon in Grahtwood. And once we load inside here, we'll pull up the map and we'll show you where the Sky Shard is in here, as well as the group event boss. So as you can see, this is the map of the public dungeon in itself. The Sky Shard is over here on the western side. The group event boss is all the way here up to the top. If you've got the add-on, the map pins, this will tell you exactly where the group event boss is. As you can see on the right-hand side there, it says the group event boss. This is the specific boss in the public dungeon that you need to kill, and it will give you a skill point if you do that. So we're just going to run through here, And it's nice to have the mini map up because you can kind of keep track of which direction you need to go and stay on point in regard to that. So we're just going to run over this way to where the Skyshard is. It's over here to the west. And as soon as you get down the stairs here, you're going to just turn right, and it's just right here. And again, the harvest map add-on pins right here is also giving me the location for chest spawn location. So that's another nice add-on to use, is the harvest map add-on. So keep that in mind. That's another add-on that's really nice to put in here. So I'm going to make a couple of skill changes because I did change my build, but I forgot to save it on my armory. So we'll just fix that real quick. Okay. Back to live action. All right, so we're going to go straight across. As you can see, we need to get through this side of the open room here. And if you want to, you can always load in with some XP gear, pop an XP scroll, because if you've never been to these areas, you're also going to be getting discovery XP by revealing this stuff on the map, going to zones that you've never been, that kind of thing. And so we're just going to keep continuing going through here, going up the stairs. And again, there's always pages and stuff like that to read. You can do that as well if you want. And then in this room is where the public dungeon group event boss is. He spawns in this little area right here, and he is on cooldown right now. Apparently he just got recently killed. Essentially what you have to do to attack him is you have to kill all the adds in this room here when they're alive. And he's got usually kind of a green aura or shield around him, and he'll walk out of it. And then at that point you can kill him and you'll get the skill point. So now that we've covered that location, we're going to port to the Northern Elsewhere Sugar Bowl Suite apartment, and we're going to travel to the next spot. We'll pull up the skills add-on here, and we'll look at the next location that we're going to cover. So we're going to go to the skills, and we're going to go all the way up here to just above where the class is, and it's the What's Missing add-on, and we're going to go to Grahtwood next. All right, so we're going to go. I just did Grahtwood, I'm sorry. We'll do Auridon next. I did those out of order. We'll do Auridon next. Okay, so Auridon is kind of over here on the west coast in the southern portion. So I'm going to travel to this one using the technique that I talked about. If you've never been to Auridon, or maybe you only have a way shrine up here or whatnot, I'm going to talk again about the way to travel to this zone, even if you've never been there on the character and you don't want to pester a guildmate to travel you there, any of that stuff. There's a house right here. It's called the Sea Bloom Villa. It's pretty close to where that is. There's another one over here, but it's a little farther away. I'm going to travel to Sea Bloom Villa, but the trick is you need to use home tours. And the reason why is because if you travel to some house that is owned, when you walk out the door, it's going to port you to that zone because it's an owned house. If you just tour the place from the Crown Store, it's going to port you back to, like if I was to just port to that to basically preview it or tour it from the Crown Store and I leave it, it's going to port me back to where I was in Northern Elsewhere. But if I port to somebody's house that they own, such as this, I can just, now again, you can walk around and tour the house if you want to, or you can do just like this, turn around and walk out the front door. And that's going to port me right to Auridon, even if I've never been there. And it also didn't cost me a dime to do this. It's free. So now we are outside, and as you can see, the Auridon public dungeon is right there. Now, again, there's a Skyshard right over here. So if you want to grab that real quick before you go in and then go in the public dungeon, or you could also run up here and grab this way shrine if you need it. You can make this your own adventure. You can tie in all the blue Mages Guild books, there's a couple here by this world boss as well. You can sprinkle in whatever activities you want, but the real crux and the main focus I'm going to do in this video is just focusing on the public dungeons. The easy way to get to this dungeon is to just stay on the coastline here, and once you get up toward the edge of where the pathway is, you can ride straight up here, and you can walk right into the public dungeon that way. Just that quick. So this is the Toothmaul Gully. This is another one that's fairly simple to get. So again, we're going to look at the map again, and there the Skyshard is down here, and then the group event boss is right here, and her name is Bloodroot. It is basically kind of a big strangler, but we're just going to go straight around this corner here. Another thing I highly recommend you bring with you is a companion. Any XP that you get along the way, they're going to also gain, and so you can level up your companion while you're doing this. Any enemies that you kill along the way, you can possibly get a drop of companion gear. So maybe if you're still hunting companion gear, you can implement that as well. So first off, I'm just going to come over here and explain the group event boss. It looks like it's recently been killed. It's just been sitting here. If there are a bunch of Spriggans up right in this area, you'll have to kill all these Spriggans, and then the Bloodroot public dungeon group event boss will come out. So this is the boss you need to kill. It's basically right in the center of this big area here. And in order to get the Skyshard, we're just going to turn over here to the east, and we're going to come over this way. We're going to go up this ramp, and you can run up this little way here. And again, if you've got the map pins add-on, this makes this really easy. You can just run right up the walkway here and grab the Skyshard without interacting with any enemies. If you want to kill them, go ahead and kill them. No big deal. It's your world, as Bob Ross would say. We're going to go to the next location now. This is Greenshade. So we're going to look up here, and we're going to just check and see, can I port to a house fairly close? Not super close. There is one way down here. So if you wanted to, for this stage, you could port to Boulder Tree's Refuge, and then right along up here, grab this way shrine, and then right up north. I believe if it was Tan Loren's quest line, will take you right into this area. So if you've done the companion Tan Loren's quest line, you probably have this way shrine right here available. So that's the one I'm going to port to. But we'll port to Northern Elsewhere for the speed of this, just to get me really close to a way shrine. Traveling again for free. This doesn't cost any money to use the add-on to port to the outside of your owned house like this. If you don't own this house, it only costs 3,000 gold to buy this. This is a very cheap and very good investment. I would highly recommend spending the 3,000 gold on that. It's very much worth the expense. So we're going to go to Greenshade now, and we're going to port to the Serpent's Grotto Way Shrine. Once we land there, we're going to go northeast up to the public dungeon. And then once we're inside that public dungeon, we're going to grab another skill point from the group event boss. And again, if you don't know this, every one of these dungeons, when you kill the group event boss, it gives you a whole point. When you collect 3 Skyshards, such as the 3 public dungeons that we've done so far in this video, this will be the 3rd, that's another point. So if you only do that at minimum, the group event boss and the Skyshard inside the public dungeon, then that is going to be 4 skill points for every 3 dungeons that you do. And that is quite a lot of points for basically the amount of time that it takes to do this, as well as the ease of it with it being mapped out like this, especially with the add-ons and everything else that are available in the game now. But once this loads, we'll highlight once again where the public dungeon group event boss is and where the Skyshard is. So we're going to go straight down here and grab this Skyshard, and then we're going to be going down this hallway and over here to the group event boss here. This is the group challenge there. So again, there's all these things that you can grab as well. The heavy sack here. This is a Aliad dungeon, so you may actually also get some Aliad furnishing plans. I know they are rare to get, but sometimes they do pop up. Who knows? But we're going to go straight over here. And the Skyshard is located just next to this leaned over column here, right there in that location. If you want to kill this boss, you can. I'm just going to bypass him for the sake of time. And then we're going to go down here into this area. And we're going to go into this little room here. Now, as you can see, it's empty. But what you want to do is you walk up to this altar. You want to use the brazier. When you use the brazier, that calls out all the enemies here on the side. What you got to do is you need to kill these little ads. And a lot of these public dungeon group event bosses, they're very similar like this. You just need to kill the enemies that come out, and then that will eventually spawn the main boss to come out. You just have to go through a little bit of an ad pull. And then here he is right here, Herger the Fallen. So as soon as you kill him, then this would give you a skill point as well if you had never done it. Because I've already completed it on this character, it's just not showing that on the screen. So we're going to go to Malabal Tor next. So I will check the map one more time to see if I've got a location that I can port to that's fairly close. And again, Malabal Tor is kind of a little bit of a trick. I do have the Domashar Plateau, so I'm just going to port to the outside of that because it's not really that far away. If it is something that you don't own, you can use somebody else's Domashar Plateau, port to that, and then walk out the front door, and it will land you just in the same exact spot where I am right now. All you're going to do is, there's the doorway to go inside the house. You're going to go up this hill, just like this. And then if you're in this area, as you can see, there is a Skyshard directly up the hill. And that character right there is getting it. I've already gotten it on this character, but you can see him grab that right there. So then I'm going to mark the public dungeon. And something I like to do specifically for this one is while I'm over in this area, I will also run inside this delve and grab the Skyshard because it's very close. I'm not going to do that in this video because it would take up a little bit more time. But as you can see, there's also some blue mages books sprinkled along the way. Like I said before, you can also implement that in your process if you want to. I'm just going to run straight to the public dungeon to speed things up here because it is a little bit of a lengthy video to do 9 of these in one shot. So I'm just going to run as fast as I can up to the public dungeon area, and we'll get inside to the Crimson Cove and locate the Skyshard and the group event boss inside there. Another thing you could do if you haven't done it is participate in the dolmen that is active just over here to the right hand side. If you have done it before and it's not active, you can skip that, but you could at least reveal it. That way, if you come to the Malabal Tor and you want to do dolmens, this will be on your map and it'll show you whether or not it's active. The other thing is you get XP for doing that, as you can see there. So, and the nice thing about update 50 is we also have the swimming horses, so you can just ride across the water just like this. You don't have to swim by hand anymore. So again, we're just going to run past all these enemies and run straight into the Crimson Cove. Now, I will warn you, this is a very common area for people to do XP grinds because the spawn rate of the enemies in here, they come back really fast. So it is a very popular public dungeon to come in here and kill stuff. So you may come into an instance where you see somebody just running around with a bunch of enemies, and that's probably likely they're trying to do a an XP farm of some kind. So I try to not mess up their pools as much as I can, because they're probably trying to bundle up their enemies together to nuke them down with an AoE bomb or something like that, very similar to what you see in Skyreach. So the public dungeon group event boss, this dungeon is a little bit different because it's got the group event boss here, but the map kind of doesn't really reveal it very well. So I'm just going to show you when you are in this area here, you're going to want to go into this south corridor first. And what you need to do is you'll have to kill this guy here, Kathner the Cunning, and then he's going to remove the bubble from these ogres, and then you've got to kill the ogres here. And as soon as you kill the ogres, this will give you a skill point. So we're not finished with this public dungeon yet. We still need to get the Skyshard. As you can see, it's over here. It's kind of a weird map. So what we're going to do is we're going to go north, and then we're going to just cut off just a little bit off the side here. So again, having the map is really nice because it can really kind of keep you on track for where you need to go. We're just going to cut over here, straight up this hill. And when you do this, when you get to the next area here, now it reveals the whole map up here in the upper level. And as you can see, we're just going to go around this way and we're going to grab the Skyshard. So you're just going to take a right here and follow along this little tunnel here. And there is a boss in the hallway unless he's been killed by somebody else. Okay, so we're just about to where we're going to get the Skyshard here. We go through this little curtain here, and just to the right over here past these paintings and tucked up on this hill is where the Skyshard is. So the next zone that we're going to go to is Reaper's March, and that is the Vile Manse public dungeon. So we'll port out of here, and then we'll take a look at the map once we're out of here. And Reaper's March is one of those zones you want to be really careful with because the terrain in that area, it can be a pain to get around because there is a lot of mountainous area such as this right here that you can't ride straight past. So if you have access to this way shrine here, that's great. If you don't, then I'm going to suggest that we use the Strident Springs Demence house, and we'll just do that with the home tours just for display purposes. So it still has my other selection from the previous trip. So we're just going to unselect that. And then we're going to come down to Strident Springs. We'll back out and we'll confirm. And then we'll travel to that house just like that. And that will be the last location for the Aldmeri Dominion in terms of group event bosses. So we've done Grahtwood, Greenshade, Auridon, and Malabal. So we're going to finish up here with Reaper's March. And this will be the Aldmeri Dominion Public Dungeon Farm. And we'll probably do Daggerfall in the next video. So if that's something that interests you, keep an eye out on the channel. I will post that as soon as I can. We're just going to run south. So we just discovered the city. So I'm going to try and run over here and grab this way shrine so that it is useful on my character. All right, so there's that way shrine. And now we are going to ride straight on down this way, and we're going to grab these 2 Skyshards on the way because they're just right there. So this is, again, another instance where you have to kind of stay on the roadway because there's not really a shortcut to getting over that direction. As you can see, we're just going to have to ride around the terrain and we'll get there eventually, rather than riding in a straight line like you can in some zones. If you want to, you kind of take a little detour and go reveal the dolmen over here. May as well do that. It's not that big of a diversion here. We'll just grab this dolmen here. That way, if it comes up at a later date and we want to farm dolmens, that will be revealed. But then we'll just get right back on track here and head our way to the Skyshards that are just outside of the Vile Manse public dungeon. Now, I will tell you, in order to do this public dungeon, you have to start the mission for this one in order to gain access to the trapdoor. You don't have to complete the whole mission. It's not necessary, but you do have to at least get it started. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you where this Skyshard is. It's just around here. And then we're going to just turn around, and this is the way shrine that you could have access to, but this is the one we're going to want to port to if you have it, Fort Grimwatch. And then we're going to ride straight up here to where this other Skyshard is. You go through this little gate. And then over here to where these little weird tree-like things are. And you're going to want to go to the end of this and ride up it. And then the Skyshard is right up inside here. You're probably going to have to deal with these skeevers because they're pretty much going to see you. But that's a 2 quick little diversion there to get 2 quick Skyshards. Once you've done that, those 2 Skyshards will add up nicely to the other ones that we're grabbing outside along the way to get you some more skill points. But now we're going to go inside the Vile Manse right here. It looks like a house. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to walk in the door and you're going to want to start the mission. It's going to start you off looking for a note. You have to go upstairs. Have I ever been in here? I haven't been in here, so I can, with this character, I've never been in here, so I can actually do the mission. So I can go upstairs here, and you can start the mission on the desk here. You pick up this note, and this starts the mission for you. And if you want, you can just come right on over here to this area, and the hiding place is in these little boots. So if you didn't see how I got there, basically you're at this table here where the mission is. You turn out the door, you go straight just a little bit, and you go through this door here. And then the boots are right here. As soon as you pick this up, there's a key, and that is the cellar key. So what you can do is you can just jump over this rail, and then the cellar is right over here to the northern side. And then once you've opened this door, you now have infinite access to this. If you want to, you can complete the mission, If you don't want to, you can just go ahead and abandon it and do it some other time. But once you're down here, you don't have to do that part anymore. So to look at the map, we're going to need to go 2 places in order to get the Skyshard. The Skyshard is, I'll tell you, it's down a hole, but we're going to go kill the group event boss first because he is on the upper level. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go south as soon as we can here. So we're just going to clean out these guys quickly as we can. And we're going to try going south because that is where the group event boss is. And you'll know you're kind of on the right track because you get to this point and you go down this little hole and it turns into kind of a frosted area right around this corner like this. And how you get to have him come out, he's already out actually. That's this Frost Astronaut guy right here. You can't attack him because he's not active, but how you get him to come out is you read this book, the Book of Frozen Legion. You go ahead and read this, and it basically activates all these little villagers here that are frozen. And just like previous areas, once you kill the adds that are coming out, then you will have access to kill the main guy. He'll come out in just a second. And so once he comes out, then you can kill the group event boss. And just like that, that gives you the skill point for killing him. And so we're going to go back up this way. I must have already been here before. That didn't give me a skill point. But that is the guy that you have to kill in order to get the skill point. Yeah, I've already been in here. So to get the the Sky Shard, we're going to take a different route. We're going to go up north here, and we're going to stay to the left or the western side of the map. We're going to go up this way. And if you see, there's a little bit of a notch in the floor right on this level right here. You can pause the video here if you want. I'm going to have to deal with these guys, otherwise they're... Okay, so you can pause the video here if you want to see where I'm going, but we're going to just go around this corner and go straight on through and drop down a hole, essentially, in the floor. And once you get to the hallway here where it is located, you can just run and go down the hill, or the hole if you want to. You don't have to kill these guys. It is a little bit of a drop. And then you're going to land in this water. And if you've never been here before, you're going to probably see Hermaeus Mora comes out and talks to you if you're doing the mission. And then there's this little mob of guys right here by this campfire. Take care of them. You're going to kill them, and then you're just going to go to the right. Don't go down this tunnel. You're going to go over here to where these rocks are, and there is a little bit of a boss here as well. You go ahead and kill him really quickly. And then the Skyshard is just over here behind him in this little tucked away cove. So that would be the last Skyshard that we're going to do for this video. That was all of the Aldmeri Dominion group event bosses. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas with public dungeons and Skyshards mixed in. So that was a decent amount of skill points. I'm going to do the Daggerfall Covenant next, and then I'll be doing the Ebonheart Pact, and then I'll probably do DLC bundles into a certain amount in a video. So if you like that video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Keep an eye out for the other zones. I will do those in separate videos, so this isn't extremely long. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.